Due to mature subject matter, viewer discretion is advised.
Ooh, you got it all set up. Look at you. Getting it together. Yes, mukbang. Alright. So hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Ben. And I'm Jarrett, and you are watching The Ben and Jarrett Show. So, we did a mukbang last Sunday instead of The Ben and Jarrett Show, and a lot of you guys really liked it. We got some positive reviews on it. So we thought we'd do another mukbang instead of The Ben and Jarrett Show. Now, we don't want you guys to think that we're not going to do the Ben and Jarrett Show again at some point, because we will. I mean, that's kind of what started our channel. So we will get back into that at some point. But right now, we kind of like the flow of...
We like doing a bunch of new, different content.
Yeah.
Different things, kind of.
Yeah.
Keep it fun.
So, yeah.
So today, we went to a Mexican restaurant called Noche on Bardstown Road.
Yes.
It's in a church, or well, I mean, what used to be a church. And so, like, I went in to pick up our food, and it was like, it had the stained glass windows and like everything. It was really cool.
Very pretty on the outside.
Yeah. I got some bean and cheese burritos with queso. They gave me this little thing called a crema. I don't really know what that is. It's a little spicy. I tasted it before the video. And then I've got Spanish rice and refried beans. So really basic, but I'm cool with that because it all looks really, really good. And it smells really, really good. So I'm just ready to chow down. So what'd you get?
I got chicken burritos with sweet potato fries, because they're my favorite fry, and then queso and some
think that's
salsa. Yeah. So
it smells really, really good in here.
it does smell really good.
All
All right, guys. So we're gonna get started. So
I think they meant for me to eat this. They wrapped it like I was supposed to eat it with my hands, but I'm like used to eating burritos. Like
high maintenance life.
yeah, because that's how I do it at like in Nepal, right? Or at Chewy's. This looks like it's gonna be really good. Is it good?
Noche. Good job. It's good.
I'm about to struggle.
No.
Alright, I'm about to pick it up after I taste this first bite if I can get it cut.
So they gave me honey to dip these in. Pretty good.
That is really good.
A little spicy, but I think that's just the seasoning on the actual fry itself. You like yours? And you said this sauce is spicy?
But it's really good.
It's not bad.
I had a spice, but I was like, oh, this got some kick.
It's not bad. Not my favorite thing I've tasted, but it's not bad. So, just because we aren't doing the Ben and Jarrett Show doesn't mean we're not going to kind of talk about some things that are going on.
You just have food while we do it.
Yes. So first, let's get into this Oprah/Gayle situation with the Kobe Bryant interview.
Okay.
Who was done by Gayle King and Lisa Leslie.
Who is Lisa Leslie? I don't even know who that person is.
Lisa Leslie is a famous female basketball player who played on the Los Angeles Sparks. She pretty much was the face of female basketball.
Okay.
During the time that her and Kobe kind of came into the game. So they got really close, they became really good friends, and they would hang out and stuff a lot, so that's kind of why she was picked to do the interview. So for those of you who don't know, Gayle King is one of Oprah's good friends. And she does interviews. Most recently she did the interview with R. Kelly that kind of like went viral and was crazy, and he like stood up and screamed, and people made a bunch of memes about him. And she kept her poise, and so
She sure did.
for that reason she's kind of come out a little bit more in the media to kind of stand on her own without, you know, the whole being Oprah's friend thing. mean, she's always been with, I believe it's CBS, but nobody really paid her any attention outside of being Oprah's friend. But after that R. Kelly interview, she kind of really like blew up. So anyway, so she's interviewing Lisa Leslie and asking Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant, his legacy. And then she proceeds to have a series of questions that go into questions about Kobe's past. And as you all know, he had that rape allegation several years back. I believe it was like the early 2000s, late 90s, somewhere in that era, about a white woman who came forward and accused him of rape. And it never went to trial. The woman refused to testify, so you know it kind of just was over. It was done, and nobody really thought much of it after that, because I mean, as most people would think, you know, if I go to a police precinct and say I want to file charges of rape against this man because he raped me, then obviously from that point on, most people would assume that I would be willing to go to court. I mean, if I'm willing to come forward to the police station, most people would assume.
I don't know.
And be in the eye of the media, most people would assume that I'd be willing to go to court.
I don't know. I don't think we can assume that, but
I mean, if you're brave enough to come up to the police station and be in the media, I don't see why you wouldn't be brave enough to go ahead and finish it out and take it to court.
I feel like it's step by step, so each step requires a certain level of processing. And so I don't know anything about the case, but I don't want to generalize what you know.
Well, that's just how I feel about it. If I had the bravery to come to a police station and make a statement and be out in the media, I think I would have the bravery to sit in the courtroom. That's just me. But anyways, so she asked Lisa about those questions. And you could see on Lisa's face, it was clear that she didn't really want to discuss that portion of Kobe's life because, for one, it was never confirmed to be true. And for two, Lisa was really good friends with Kobe, and so she didn't think that that was worth discussing. Now, so of course, you know, after that interview was done, it didn't air right away, but CBS aired portions of it and put it online. One of those portions was obviously the most salacious portion, which is Gayle speaking with Lisa about Kobe's rape charges. Or, excuse me, allegations. Alleged allegations. So, it sent social media into uproar. His fans were upset. A lot of the celebrities came out in his defense. The most vocal being Snoop Dogg, who referred to Gayle as a funky, dog-headed bitch because he felt like she was coming from a malicious place. It got so bad that Gayle herself actually went and recorded a video apologizing and stating that it was taken out of context, and that she felt that CBS kind of did her wrong.
Which I'm sure they did, because they will air what will get the most reaction.
Right.
Most views.
But if you've seen the clip, or if you haven't, when you do see it, it's very clear that Gayle could have asked that question and then moved on, but Gayle continued to press. It's very obvious in that part of the interview that she continued to press. So it wasn't just, oh, how do you feel about this, blah, blah, blah. Lisa gives her answer and she moves on. Well, she keeps kind of digging in. And so that's what people are really upset about. And that's what people are saying about her and Oprah, and especially in the Black community. They feel like they've been out to really get Black men and, really kind of tear down Black men in the community. That Oprah doing that posthumous Michael Jackson video, and then of course the Russell Simmons interview that Oprah was going to have a hand in but dropped out of due to the backlash. People feel that they are like not doing those same things on their white male friends. For instance, Harvey Weinstein.
I remember seeing stuff about that.
So I can understand where people are coming from, but I also feel bad for Gayle because she's getting like death threats and stuff, and I just think people are taking it way too far.
I feel like you can have, a difference of opinion or disagree with
Yes.
what someone does without going to death threats.
Yes, without threatening violence. That's just silly. Especially in this day and age where everything is just already so over the top. But yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of what's going on there. I suggest you watch the video of the interview and form your own opinion. My personal opinion, as I said, is that Gayle pressed far too much. She could have asked the question and move on, but she didn't. She kept digging in, and so I feel like that's what caused the backlash.
Now, I haven't seen it, so, but I've just heard and seen a lot of people post about it.
Yeah. So go online, watch the video, form your own opinion. Maybe you'll think differently than I do. Moving on. So today we watched A Fall from Grace.
That was really good.
The Tyler Perry movie on Netflix that we reported on a couple episodes ago for the bad meme about McCad Brooks' wig going around. We actually watched it today. We just kind of leisurely turned it on, didn't expect to really get into it, but
I got into it.
we got into it pretty quick.
I got into it.
It was good.
It was really good.
Some of the continuity or, obvious things that could have been better edited in the editing room. But outside of that, the film itself was great.
It was really, really good.
I was impressed.
I was shook.
I was impressed. I really enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's on Netflix. It's really good. You should watch it.
That twist ending really just got me.
Woo! Didn't see that coming.
From a mile away.
That was perfect.
Had me shook. I was very surprised. And then, it went back and, showed you all the signs you should have seen. I was like, how did I miss that?
You know what I loved about it? Was that it didn't really have any big stars in it. Well, outside of McCad Brooks, he's played in quite a few things. Been in Supergirl and other stuff too, but it really didn't have any other big stars in it. Tyler Perry plays a minor role in the movie.
Oh, his role is terrible, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen him be that much of a butthole before. But
I was surprised that he didn't get, a redemption. He's gonna be...
well, he kind of did at the end when he gave her a thumbs up. And she smiled at him and waved at him. But
it was really good.
I was impressed.
I don't think there's been a Tyler movie I've seen where I've been like... Well, I mean... No, I don't think there's been a Tyler movie I've seen that I've been like... I've always really liked his movies.
Yeah. I think Tyler makes good movies. Tyler employs a lot of black people. And I'm here for Tyler.
I like Tyler.
I like Tyler a lot too. A lot of people feel like he's kind of been detrimental for the black community.
Why that?
Because of the whole Medea character and it being such a big stereotype of the black mammy character, which I can understand to an extent, but what he has then gone on to do beyond that is so much more and so much bigger than that character, and so he gets my full support. He's gone on to do some wonderful things that, he built an entire studio that's bigger than any other movie studio ever.
Yeah, and that's an
And he did it, in Atlanta on a Confederate base.
Really
what used to be a Confederate base. So Tyler Perry can do no wrong for me.
I love it. It's what he has to say.
Yeah, but go watch A Fall from Grace. It's a really good movie. I recommend it.
Me too.
So I guess technically it'd be our recommendation station if we were doing our show.
Fall from Grace. Very good. Very good.
But yeah, so today we were also watching In Living Color.
Hilarious.
I love In Living Color.
Hilarious.
And then, for those of you who don't know, In Living Color was a comedy sketch show that ran from 1990 to 1994, I believe.
It only has 4 years?
On Fox. It was a show produced by the Wayans family, who went on to produce movies and direct movies such as Major Pain, White Chicks.
Big in comedy.
Yeah, I mean, they're a force to be reckoned with. Their entire family is a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood, especially when it comes to comedy. But yeah, so it was created and produced by Wayans family, predominantly Kean Ivory Wayans, who is the oldest brother. And it starred him, Damon, Kim, who was their sister, later on Sean, and Marlon Wayans, who those two are more well-known now for their roles that they later went on to do. But yeah, it was a really good show. It was a show unlike anything else on TV. It was the black version of Saturday Night Live at the time, because at the time Saturday Night Live was predominantly white.
Yeah, well.
They had a predominantly white cast. And so when In Living Color came out, it was predominantly black cast, and it was something that was on TV that we had never seen before. So I really think that's why it blew up and people just took to it so much. Unfortunately, the show came to a halt due to Kean Ivory and Fox having a pretty major disagreement. They were running reruns and just not allowing him to have the creative control they told him they would allow him to have. And so he kind of came to the decision that he didn't want to do the show anymore. And I think by season 3, he was no longer in any of the episodes. He had kind of stepped back. And by end of season 4, all of the Wayans family had pulled out from the show. So they did a season 5, but it didn't make it very long because nobody was watching anymore. It wasn't fun anymore.
And that's what's really shitty, is that you get something really, really good, and then the network wants to be an ass and get more money and, you know, limit creativity of the artist or the producer, or not the producer, but or whoever, and then you end up with garbage because you try to fill a place that can't be filled, and you don't give creative control to the writer, and then they fight and you end up with garbage. So that sucks.
Yeah, the show started out the careers for a lot of people, a lot of big names, like Tommy Davidson, as I said, Damon Wayans, who went on to be in Major Pain and several other movies and shows. Also Sean and Marlon. Let's see, Kim Coles, who went on to be in Living Color, which I haven't showed him yet.
And did you mean to say In Living Color?
Or excuse me, Living Single.
Oh, okay.
In Living Color. Yeah, and David Allen Greer, Tommy Davis. I mean, the list goes on. Jim Carrey.
That was noticeable for me.
Yes.
I was like, is that Jim Carrey? And I didn't know that's where he got his start, and I thought that was really cool.
Jim Carrey got his start from the Wayans at a time when nobody else would hire him, because they didn't think that his kind of comedy would be funny. They didn't think it would be well received.
Look at Jim Carrey. Well, I mean, now he's a little... I don't know anything about him, but I know he's faced backlash for just... I don't know any of the specifics, but I feel like he's faced backlash for, like, quote-unquote, being weird.
He's always been weird, though. I love Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. The Mask is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Not my favorite, but it's one of my favorite.
I love the Jim Carrey Grinch. And a lot of people that are older than me think, oh, the cartoon is so much better, like the original cartoon. And it's not.
Yeah.
And then this new Grinch, I tried to watch it with my nieces, and I was like, oh, this is the softest little... The Jim Carrey Grinch is one of the most iconic Christmas movies besides Home Alone, in my opinion.
He's just so good at what he does. He's so good. And he's so off the cuff, but he's still so great at being off the cuff.
And then, yeah, because, like, the movies you showed me, Liar Liar was really good. Like, and he just is so... His creativity with that is really...
Yes, Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty was hilarious.
The Truman Show is a more serious one, but that's a really good one, too.
Yeah.
But I love Jim Carrey.
I was really... Like, when you showed me In Living Color, and I saw Jim Carrey, I was like, oh my gosh. And I think that's really cool that that's where he started.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, Living Color was huge. It was a huge show. So big, in fact, they tried to reintroduce it in 2012 by doing a remake of it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Keenan had a hand in the remake. After filming the first season, they decided that with our current climate, as far as like how sensitive people are and what's okay to say now that wasn't okay to say then, or vice versa. He felt like it couldn't be as authentic as it used to be. He like, you know, some of those characters like Men on Film, the two
Obviously gay.
yeah, obviously gay men who were super flamboyant. You know, like a lot of those things couldn't be done now without facing a lot of upset viewership. So the show just couldn't be as good as it was then. You know, and they had some really iconic characters. I mean, they had Homie the Clown, who's like, Homie, don't play that. They had Bonita Boutrell, who loved Miss Jenkins. They had, oh gosh, there's just so many characters. I can't even think of them all. There's so many characters. But yeah, so they tried to revamp the show, and he decided that after shooting that first season, it couldn't sustain. That he didn't think they could keep up with the level of what was, you know, the older version. So
that's what's interesting about comedy is like it's such a fine line between like what is funny, and I feel like what it really comes down to is who is saying what. You see what I'm saying? So like for Men on Film, if it was gay men doing that, it would still be funny. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like a laughing with you and not laughing at you.
Well, me and you had that discussion before. I'm on the other side of it. I just think people don't know how to laugh anymore and stuff. Comedy's always been that one medium where it didn't matter what was going on in the outside world. Everything could be taken lightly and everything could be funny in that arena. And now it's gotten to where it's not even that anymore. It's like you have to have very conscious comedy. Like you can't say things that are just funny anymore. They have to be funny and as non-offensive as possible. And even then, there's going to be somebody who's going to...
But I feel like if you have to rely on being offensive to be funny, you're not funny.
But it's not about being offensive.
Or if you have to like rely on a certain group of people being the butt of your joke, I don't think that's funny.
Well, I think with shows like that, it's sketch comedy, so they're going to touch on everything, as they did in the show.
Yeah.
You know, but there's certain skits that you can't do now. Which kind of sucks, because it was a great show, and I think if we were in a less worrisome time, they could come back out with it, and it would do really well.
You full? I'm still going. I might eat all this food. I'm hungry.
But yeah, we also have dessert too, so. But yeah, so we got some Krispy Kreme donuts. We're gonna eat for dessert.
I haven't had donuts in. I can't tell you the last time I had donuts.
Been a while.
What I've been watching, what is so entertaining to me is the tasty videos or like people cooking on Facebook.
Yes.
I could watch those for hours on end. And I don't know why, because I don't even like to cook. But like people making a cake or a donut.
That's because that's things that everybody likes.
I could watch that for hours. I'm like, wow, this is really interesting, knowing that I will never do any of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I saw him making donuts one day. I was like, oh, you know what? Donuts sound really, really good.
Yeah, donuts are good. So we're still working on new content for you guys. We got a lot of positive reviews on the What's That Smell video. So thank you for everybody who's watching it, who's still watching it, who are sharing it with people, liking, commenting, subscribing.
Well, I can't comment on that one because...
So, we figured out why you guys can't comment, by the way. You can't comment because it's okay for kids, and anything that's okay for kids does not allow comments on the video.
For now. That's what I understood from YouTube was like, we're working on it, because I went in to like figure out what's happening, and since we approved that video to be like kid-friendly, apparently you can't comment, so...
Because as we know, most of our videos aren't kid-friendly, so we never ran into that issue before until we posted that one.
Yeah.
So, in the future, I'll make sure to watch out for that, so that you guys can comment, because I'd rather you all be able to comment than have to worry about some snotty nose ass kid.
Period.
Just saying.
But if y'all want to say something, feel free to send us a message on Facebook Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
If you know me that well, send me a text.
We're also going to be creating a couples Instagram soon, so you guys will be able to follow us there and comment there as well. So keep an eye out for that. We'll probably be doing that here soon. We're just trying to get enough followers to where if we make that account, there'd actually be a reason to have one. And right now we don't have enough subscribers. But yeah, so stay tuned. Keep watching us. We got some really cool content coming. We got some new challenges coming. So our next challenge is kind of be along the same lines as What's That Smell, but something a little different. I think you guys will really like it. Yeah, so that's about all we got for you today. We just wanted to make sure that we did a video. As I said earlier, we are going to keep doing the Ben and Jarrett show. At some point, we'll start back out with that. But till then, we'll do some mukbangs. And yeah.
I'm good.
I'm good. We good.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.